Good evening, everyone. My name is Marzo2, and I am the tournament admin for the Multiple Classic Mario Games 2025 Famicom Trilogy Tournament. We have two incredible runners here today. We have vinzchillin and abellabros, two very accomplished speedrunners in the Famicom Trilogy leaderboard. This is going to be a best of three match, so we are going to see at least two, and if not three races in this matchup today, so it will be very exciting. So, looks like everyone is ready, and we have our countdown going. So to start off, for those who are unfamiliar with this speedrun, we're going to be seeing the players beat three Mario games. We have the original Super Mario Bros., and then they're going to play the Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2, known as the Lost Levels, on the original Famicom Disk System version. And then they are going to be playing the Japanese version of Mario 3, which does have its differences from the North American version of Mario 3. So, yeah, they should be getting started here any moment now. I do have our little race room open, and they have started on that. So we're off to the races. Both players very understandably going for the Fire Flower strat from what it looks like. I think they're probably going to be getting synced up here pretty shortly. I do know that the timers are not synced up right now. Should be in about a minute or so. Alright, there we go. They are perfectly synced. So 1-1, very standard level. 1-2, they're going to grab the Fire Flower and then warp to World 4. I don't remember exactly. I don't have their PVs pulled up, but I believe Vin's has like somewhere in like 2530s or the 2510s range for a PV. And Abella has like a 2453, I want to say. Do I want to explain the bus system? No, my brain can't handle explaining the bus system. Very well, at least. I'm not very good at explaining it, but the best way I can describe it myself is that in Super Mario Bros. 1, and we'll be seeing it in the next game, The Lost Levels, you can only gain or lose time in increments of 21 frames, or 0.35 seconds. They can play the levels like 0.1 seconds apart, but if they're still in that 21 frame window where the game checks to see if you completed the level, then you won't even be losing time over your opponent. The 4-2, the players are going to scroll Mario over to the right side of the screen. They're going to do this because they want to go down a pipe, which will take them to the wrong destination. Normally when you go down that pipe, you enter a little coin room, but if you scroll the screen far enough to the right, it tricks the game into thinking that you're actually supposed to go to the warp zone. Eight one is the longest level in the first game. Also should note that they are playing this game in a mandated order. They don't get to choose what order they play the games in. It's typically just from the spirit of the category from over the years that we mandate to play the games in release order. Some of the longer multi-game runs, we have like a 5-game speedrun, for example, called Pentathlon, and a 7-game speedrun called Heptathlon, and those you can pick which order you play the games on, but this is a shorter category, and typically just for the spirit of the speedrun, we mandate a fixed game order. But Vince launching on the staircase at the beginning of 8-2, but doesn't get hit by Lakitu. Both players are doing some safe strats. It looks like Abella went for the BBBB strat. Ooh, but takes a death at the end of 8-2. 8-2 is a really tricky level. One of the hardest in the any percent speedrun for Mario 1, but giving Abella a decent-sized lead in 8-3. Vinz with his Fire Flower is going to make it pretty easy to get through 8-3, barring any weird Hammer Bro patterns. Bella having a rough time on those paratroopas, but going for BBG. That's awesome. To see a bullet bill glitch there. Optimally speaking, it would save 2 frame rolls, but obviously it didn't really save any time there. But Abella entering 8-3 as small Mario, not ideal in the slightest. Ooh, jumping into the Piranha Plant there. I don't know if he wasn't planning on bopping the Hammer Bro there and like he got thrown off. But hopefully he can make it out of World 8 without game overing, but he's in a pretty rough spot right now. Looks like Vinz, I wasn't paying attention to Vinz very much, but he did get hit in the water just now. Gonna make this last room a little tough. Could close the lead if anything bad happens. Alright, ooh, forward Bowser, and a... Looks like he finishes SMB1 with around a 5:08. Pretty good for a race. That was manipulation on Vin's part for a good lost levels. So, abellabros making his way through 8-4. Missing the wall jump. So you saw Abella, and I'm sure you saw Vince do this too. They walked off the pipe in the second room. The one that they were coming out of. They walked off that instead of running. Because it sets Mario up to have a 2-frame window to hit the wall jump instead of normally a 1-frame window. But, Abella having a rough time in the water. Much like Vince, he's going to be entering the Bowser room as small Mario. Alright. Bowser, please. Very nice. Very nice run for Abella. With these races, the nerves can get the best of you. You're also seeing the players wait quite a bit in between each games because we have mandated a 25-second waiting period in between each game. And the reason why we mandate that is because players use different like emulators and different flash carts. I don't really know if emulators really have that much of a loading difference, but like flash carts on the NES that are commonly used for speedruns, they have varying loading times. And it becomes pretty unfair for certain people that might have slower flash cart loading times. So we don't really do the pay-to-win scenario, we just have everyone wait 25 seconds. So that way it's fair, but if they don't wait, it is an automatic disqualification, and the other person will get the win automatically. So yeah, don't do that. Always wait the 25 seconds. So I guess Vinz is going small, which pretty gutsy race strat. Most people usually do fire, but Vin's gonna challenge the game. We'll see if it works out. Abellabros going for the wall jump. Ooh, and he nails it. Very, very good. Abella is a very accomplished... I mean, both these runners are very accomplished Lost Levels runners. Abella does have the faster PB. I think he has a 756. I think Vinz has a 758, so they both definitely have the small Mario experience that they need for this race. Yeah, typically, this is the game, like we've seen in the past races of this tournament, this is usually the game where runners have a lot of hard times with. And pretty understandable. This was the game that was banned in the US for multiple years for a reason. So, definitely the one that most people get stuck on a little bit. Vin's going for a safe 4-3 there. Very smart choice, because a lot of the times this level can be a nightmare with where the bullet bills are, and then you have to make that huge jump at the end there that you saw Vin's, jump over. There's a 3-frame window jump you'd have to make if you took the bottom route at the end of 4-3. But abellabros, I figured he was going to go small too maybe, but no, he's going for big only strats or something. Maybe he's going to pick up the fire flower later on? Not sure. Guess we'll find out. Is the race done blind, or can the runners know where the other is? The runners are allowed to have the stream up. Most runners definitely don't. They kind of like it being a surprise, but you are allowed to have the stream open. Some tournaments don't allow it. I remember, like, I think the Mario 3 point system tournaments that used to be done, you weren't allowed to do that, but that was also because those were point-based, so you did certain objectives, and it would just be unfair. But this is a little bit different. Assuming that 2J runs are Mario only? Not true. You are allowed to do Luigi in these races as well. Mario is easily the more popular person to play as, and I'm pretty sure everyone here is pretty much more of a Mario player anyway. I know Vince likes Luigi a lot, and I myself like Luigi. But yeah, Mario is usually the go-to for any sort of multi-game run for most people. So Abella making his way through 4-4. We're going to be seeing a little bit of a load here. And vinzchillin entering 5-2. Now this level is very unique because you're going to be seeing these players flip into one of the pipes and do a wrong warp. Much like the one in SMB1 where we saw them scroll Mario to the right side of the screen in 4-2. It's not exactly the same, but they're going to try to clip into the pipe, press down to go down the upside down pipe, and it's going to take him to the warp zone. Now, typically you'd want to take the vine, but that's slower, obviously, so... But Vin's not looking too bad. Don't want to curse him at all. Maybe I'll just keep my mouth shut about that. But he's in World 8 right now. This can really be where the game gets tricky on people. But going for the pipe jump there, swag. Love it. Abella making his way into 5-2. We'll see how well he can do the wrong warp here. This is typically called the devil spell. Not necessarily the actual, like, this specific trick, but, like, just the act of flipping into an upside down pipe like that, I believe, is just the devil spell. I don't think the term devil spell necessarily applies to the whole wrong warp. Abellabros going for some pretty fast strats here in 8-1. I think he's going to be pulling out all the fast stops now. vinzchillin is about a level and a half ahead. Luckily, like, the Hammer Bros are a little more generous in this game. Knock on wood, just because in SMB1, just the way they behave, it's much harder to, like, jump over them. Like, with the way they throw hammers, but... in this game, they throw them, like, later when they spawn on screen, so it's easier to, like, jump over them. In SMB1, they throw them earlier, so you can't really jump over them that easy. I love that, what Abella did there. You grab the vine, and then you, like, dismount from the vine, and then do a little jump to go higher up on the vine. It actually saves time, believe it or not. So vinzchillin maintaining his lead in 8-4. Not a level to fool around in, that's for sure. I'm going for a little fast excel there, love it. This part here that Vin's just passed is actually a maze. Believe it or not, if you jump too high, you position Mario too high up on the screen before the big fire bar, it actually will reset the maze. So, don't jump too high there. Yep, running off the floor and into the next part of the floor that you saw Vince do, that's as easy as it gets. Just run off and you'll clip into the floor. Nothing much to it. Makes it really easy to get by Bruce, the first Bowser, but great job for Vince. He's got a really good run going right now. We're entering the final game for Vince here, Super Mario Bros. 3 on the Famicom version. Since we are on... Ooh, Abella taking the death there. A little too fast on the red piranha plant. Hopefully he won't tilt over that. He can still finish very strong here. Yeah, we do require the Famicom version of Mario 3. Because obviously it's Famicom Trilogy, so you gotta do the Famicom version, but NES version does have its differences. As you see, when Vince enters a level, you're gonna see this kind of like a fade-in sort of thing. It takes up like a second of time. Obviously, if you're familiar with Mario 3 on the NES version, you know that you enter the level, it just brings you right to it. It doesn't do like a funny little animation, but on the Famicom version, it does do an animation. And also in Mario 3, when you're Tail Mario or Fire Mario, if you get hit in the Famicom version, you go right back down to Small Mario, but on the NES version, you get hit with Fire Mario or Tail Mario or anything that's not big or or big or Small Mario, sorry. It's going to be just one hit. So, Abella finishing up 2J. Very good job for him. He's got a pretty good run, too. Then we got both runners into Mario 3. Vin's making his way up. Makes quick work of the World 1 Fortress. So as we're entering World 8 for Vin's, there's one major aspect of Mario 3 that we need to talk about, because it could very well impact who wins the race, and that is the infamous World 8 hand stages. It is random what hands pull you down. You can get by without getting grabbed by any of them. Sometimes you can't get grabbed without... sorry, my words are getting messed up. Sometimes you can't get by without being grabbed by any of them. Apparently, speaking is not my strong suit right now, but yeah, each hand loses about 20 to 25 seconds. I'd lean to 25 seconds on this version just because of the level transitions. But yeah, definitely don't want to get grabbed by the hands. I did give the runners the option if they wanted to just have time deducted for each hand, but the majority vote among the participants was to just keep everything vanilla. So it will partially come down to RNG. So we're about to see Abella get into World 8 here. Yeah, definitely do not want to get hit on this auto-scroller that Vin's is on for the reasons of how the damage system works. Especially because in the next auto-scroller you want to have the Fire Flower, and if you're small, entering that level you can't get the Fire Flower, which will lose time in the Boom Boom fights. Yeah, no hands only happen when you don't want them to. That seems to be the general consensus. So let's take a little vote in the chat. How many hands is each player gonna get? I'm gonna guess 2 for Vinz and 1 for Abella. I'll be a little nice to Abella right now. I'll give him the upper hand for now. Sorry, Vinz. But Vince does get his Fire Flower very successfully. So this is going to help, because Fire Flower does save around 3 to 4 seconds on each Boom Boom fight over just stomping on him. See, Bella's probably going to go for the D-lag strat, because there's so many enemies on the screen that you just want to kill some of them off so there's not as much lag. So right as Vinz is finishing up the Navy, we're going to have Abella finishing up the first auto-scroller. So we'll see how lucky Vinz gets with the hands. I don't know if this is PV pace for him right now. Maybe getting no hands would help with that, but we're about to find out. Ooh, get grabbed by the first hand, the 99% hand. Oh, he's going for P-speed. Whoa, that was cool. It looked like he almost jumped through the hammer bro, but since he was off screen, it like didn't hit him. That was weird, I've never seen that before. Alright, one hand, that's pretty good. Air Force is probably the scariest auto-scroller in this category, just because, especially if you get no hands, then you gotta deal with the fastest auto-scroller, and it can be a nightmare. Very stressful. Right, it's almost time for Abella to be tortured by the hands. Pretty nice Air Force for Vince here. He's going to be entering the real levels of World 8, the ones where you actually have to play them. Alright, Abella, let's see what you're going to get. 99% hand, as always. Generally, it's believed, quote-unquote believed, important word, that each hand has a 50% chance of grabbing you, but usually we don't agree with that when it comes to the first hand, but... Ooh! Alright, Vince having a little bit of a meltdown in 8-1. Gonna help abellabros out here a little bit, but let's hope he knows how to recover. 8-1 is really one of the hardest levels of this whole speedrun. That fire plant, dude. When ducking time. So this is not looking great for Vince. That plant again, just shooting fire right when he shouldn't be. I thought that was a 1-up, so I was kind of like, why are you going for that? But he knows more than me, I guess. I wasn't going to openly question it. So, Vin's still maintaining a lead, but it has been significantly cut now. Hopefully Vince doesn't start to tilt. But this is going to be a stressful level to do, because he doesn't have his Fire Flower. Alright, plants, be nice. You weren't nice to him in 8-1. Alright, they were pretty good to him now. Almost getting hit by the sun, but not quite. Interesting choice with Abella using the star in 8-1. Usually you use that in the fort, but personal preference. Right on the roto disc there for Vinz. He's gonna have to go through a couple extra doors here to get his fire flower back. Especially in a race, you know, like, when one small thing goes wrong, you're just completely messed up. It's so easy to do that, especially in a race over a PB attempt. So at this point, these players, well, right now at this point, Vince cannot afford to get hit, because he's going to want his fire flower for the Bowser fight. He'll save about, versus entering Bowser's castle without fire, it would save about at least half a minute. Closer to 40, probably. At this point, if Vince does get hit, Abella could make a comeback. I think at this point, the gap is so small now that if Vince doesn't have fire for Bowser and Abella does, then it'll at the very least be close. But let's all chant for Vince to close out this run of his. We'll see the gap at the end of this level. Vin's almost done with this auto-scroller, about a little bit more to go. Not too much longer, though. Oof, I thought he was gonna jump there. I was like, don't do that. He's too smart for that. Alright, 26-14 orb grab for Vin's. Looking like a 27-2x if he can keep his fire flower. Yeah, this will come down to Bowser from what it looks like. Yeah, about 30-second lead for Vinz right now. Definitely cannot afford to get hit. Alright, statue room. Really hard to do when you're under nerves. Really hard to do. So, 35 fireballs. Ooh. Alright, that's a little bit of an unfortunate start there. Ooh, but Abella getting hit. That's gonna... Oof, and takes a death to that roto disc. That'll widen the lead for Vinz a little bit more. Just keep the fire flower. Safe fight. Don't get hit. Alright. That flame was following him around. But it looks like race 1 is going to Vinz. If the GG's out for Vinz, this isn't over yet. We have at least one more race, if not two. But a 27-44 for Vinz. Very good job. Let's cheer Abella on now to finish the run. Getting hit there at the end of the statue room. This can be a pretty intense fight when you're small. I wonder if he knows that you can, like, sit in Bowser's hit in his sprite. Alright, he does. He's listening to me. Alright. Bowser, please. Alright, that was a little close. So I think Abella's gonna get just under a 29-minute run. So get your GGs out for Abella and Vinz. GG to both players. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and give Vinz the tally in a minute. I'm gonna set up the next race room. But, yeah, we're gonna give Vinz the tally since he won the first race. Here we go. Beautiful question mark block. This is a very interesting rolled 8 from both players. A little bit of action there. Hopefully, though, the nerves, they have dusted them off. Usually the first race is really nerve-wracking just because, like, you haven't really settled in to actually running it under pressure yet. But after race 1, usually entering race 2, you're pretty mellowed out, pretty calm, and less prone to making mistakes. So hopefully these two have brushed it off and we can see some incredible action. I believe this is the only race still on the schedule. I don't think there's any other scheduled races yet, but hopefully that will change in the next week or so. This is the only race on the tournament schedule, but we do have two more races, or matchups, I should say, for Group B before we progress to the bracket stage. All right, here we go with race 2. In the race room, so we will be seeing them take off here momentarily. So how seeding is going to work in the bracket stage is we're going to take all the runners' times in every race, and we're going to find the average time. That'll determine what seed or quote unquote rank they're going to have entering the bracket stage, and that kind of determines, I believe it determines where they start. I could be wrong. It might actually be like how many races you won in the group stage. Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on what placement you got in your group, so we'll still be taking down the average times though, just in case. So we are off, done with the first level. I guess now, since we don't have much to talk about for 1-2 and 4-1, I'm gonna check the leaderboard to see what their PBs are officially. And for those who don't know, this isn't the first tournament we've done for multiple classic Mario games. Last year we did an NES Trilogy tournament. There were only 4 people in it last year. This year we have 6. And Vinz was actually part of that. He was part of that tournament, so it is on YouTube. I just want to see other multi-game races like this. Since it was NES Trilogy, we did not play the Japanese version of Mario 3, and we also didn't even play Lost Levels. It was the North American Mario 2 that has the vegetables. Also, the runners being pretty cautious around the pipe they need to enter, because if you end up moving while you're going down the pipe and you scroll the screen, it will not trigger the wrong warp. You will right warp, which is going into that coin room. And you have to game over and start from 4-1 again, since you just can't. If you die once, you spawn at the halfway point, and you can't even do the wrong warp, because you're too far into the level, so you lose a lot of time if you mess up the wrong warp, so it's much better to take an extra second or two and just play that wrong warp safe. Got the leaderboard up here. Abella is 7th place with a 24.53 without loads. With loads, that is a 25.23. And we have Vinz in 9th place with a 25.33 without loads and a 26.27 with loads. So 2 of the top 10 players in this category going head to head. Alright. Bella doing the BBBB strat again. That was found by old SMB1 legend Xerox Fiend. It manipulates the ending paratroopa before the flagpole to be in a favorable spot pretty much every time. And you have to, I think the B stand for bonk, brush, boink, and bounce. But fortunately, Abella does not have a slip-up in 8-2 this time. Ooh, got the jumper there. 8-4 will not be fun with Small Mario. But Vince does have his Fire Flower, so he can close this lead that Abella has over him right now. Right, room 1 is cleared. Abella going for the 2-frame setup. Vin's going for the 1-frame setup. And he gets it. He saves that much time over Abella. I think it's 0.3 seconds. And very fast turnaround. He definitely has closed the lead quite a bit. For SMB1 standards, he's closed the lead quite a bit. Maybe half a second, but that's a lot for SMB1. Right, Abella taking the Potaboo safe. Grabs the axe. And just like that, we're basically neck and neck out of the first game. So, very exciting race we have here. Abella has like a 1-frame rule lead into 2J. A little bit less of a, or more of a 1-frame rule lead, I don't know. Right, playing the Piranha Plant safe. Oof, Abella getting hit there. Right as I want to say something too. Jumping a little too late off that pipe. Like I said, this is the game that gives the players the most amount of trouble. Not taking a game over, a little gutsy. If he does die at the end of 1-2, that's just gonna be a major time loss, but we know Abella's a very accomplished runner in this game, so hopefully he can handle it pretty well. But he will be giving Vince a decent lead as of right now. It'd still be anyone's race, so we know the lead was definitely shortened up a bit in World 8 of Mario 3 last time. Ooh, that was tight with that plant from Abella there. If you are holding down when you go down a pipe and there is a Piranha Plant there, it definitely helps with not getting hit by his hitbox. Especially in the All-Stars version, because like if you're not holding down, you could die, but if you are holding down, Mario going down the pipe will register first and not him dying. If he didn't hold down there, he probably would have game overed there, but he does take an intentional game over at the beginning of 4-1. And he's going for the small strats again. They paid off really well last time, so let's hope we can say the same for this race. Alright, I'm done talking for now. I guess I should just be banned from commentary. Vince does recover well from the death in 4-2. Does allow Abella to catch up a little bit though. But I guess Abella's going for small strats now, what it looks like. Could be wrong though, I guess I'm not a great guesser at these things. Ooh. Vin's just barely shortened that paratrooper. That's one of those really tight jumps in 4-3. Alright, he's slowing down this time, which is good. But now we're like nearly tied. Oh, but Abella goes for the riskier strats, and it pays off, so he does take the lead. This is an extremely entertaining race over the first match. The end of this level can be really daunting as Small Mario, with like where Bowser's flames want to go. Oof, barely getting under Bowser there. Bella with a little over a second faster, 4-4 over Vinz. Gonna widen that lead a little bit, but I don't know if Vinz is gonna take an intentional game over, since he only has one life. Not sure what his plan is on that. Alright, looks like that's exactly what he's gonna do. Very smart choice. Bella getting lucky with that Piranha Plant hitbox. I could have killed him if his subpixel was a little bit different. Same thing with Vinz. So one thing I did not mention in the first race was the super jump setup. So you see the runners bounce off the first paratroopa, and then they hit the vine block, and jump at a specific time, and they release B before they land on the ground. Because when you're not at running speed, and you ricochet off an enemy, like a paratroopa for example, you will go really high into the air, as you saw both of them do. But if you have running speed and you do the same thing, you're not going to gain as much height. Obviously, like, the intended way was to just hit some invisible coin blocks, but obviously we're going to do the faster method. Really good devil spell trick for abellabros. I think Vince had a really good devil spell too. I wasn't quite paying attention, but it looks like he had a really good devil spell. Alright, goes for the pipe jump. Risky, but works out for him. Vince playing that paratrooper jump safe. You do have to slow down a little bit there when you're Mario. As Luigi, since you jump higher, you don't have to slow down, but with Mario, he's a little too far away for you to just go full send and then try to land on him. You won't make it. A really weird thing that can happen in this level, in 8-2, is if you go to land on the paratroopa... Oh, really nice vine grab for Abella there, that was cool. But, when you go to land on the paratroopa, if you bounce off of him and into the block again, but you do it on the very first pixel, the very left or right corner pixel, you'll actually, like, get pushed in whichever direction that is. So if you hit the left corner pixel, you'll bounce to the left and you'll actually die from it. There's nothing you can really do about that, so we definitely don't want to see anyone hit the first pixel of the block. It has killed many of my runs before and it's very heartbreaking. I do not recommend it. Ooh, I think Abella went for the fast 8-3 frame roll. So you see the runners wait on the elevator at the end of 8-3. And if you wait for just the right amount of time, like just barely enough time where you can make it, you actually save another frame roll over playing it a little bit safer. But it's like an extremely tight window. It's like the frame roll itself is only a few frames, and the jump itself that you need to make off the elevator is only a few frames. Crazy. So Abella only has about a 1-room lead right now. I think the Mario 3 is going to be very entertaining to watch. And no, we will not be doing the crash glitch in 8-4 in these races. That is banned. We do not allow Ace in the Famicom Trilogy category. One thing that you don't want to see people do when they grab the mushroom is buffer a press during the animation. Because if you do that, you'll jump through the ceiling and you can't get back down, so you have to wait till the timer runs out. So Abella gets to the axe first. He's gonna have a little bit of a lead over Vin's, as we've seen. But we could maybe see a third race in this matchup. It's all up to Mario 3. We'll see how much of the difference we really have here between the two runners. So 15-18 card grab for Abella. And Vin's having a little bit of a hiccup in 1-1. Will set him further behind Abella. Does look like Abella having a little bit of a stream problem. I know he's talked about before how his stream can be a little bit of a pain to manage. Hopefully it will come back alive soon. I'll check out his channel to make sure everything's alright. So it does look like his stream crashed. He doesn't seem to be live on my end. He still does have the option to finish the race out, and I'll probably still, like, allow it. Bella know that he's allowed to continue the race. I don't want him to forfeit now. I don't know if he has, like, an instinct to just forfeit, but I'm gonna switch audio over to Vin's for now. We have something to listen to. I guess his audio's not even usable, so it's just the sound of my voice. It looks like his stream crashed. He's not even live on my end when I looked him up on Twitch. So, but I'm still allowing him to finish the race and it'll still count. I'm not going to make him redo a race, especially since we're already in the last game. I don't know, like, what's going through his mind right now. So we got Vin's. I haven't really paid much attention to Vin's, but making his way up to the Fire Flower grab in the Navy. This is a really cool strat that you see the runners do. It's only been around for a few years now, but building up P speed and grabbing the flower that way. Really cool strat. Yeah, the Zakubi strat. I mean, worst case scenario, if Abella doesn't want to do a third match, I'll probably have him. I'll probably have the score kept to whatever it is, and then we can just like continue at another time for the final race. Or if Vince happens to win. But I don't really want to make them restart the whole matchup again over this. I'm pretty sure we had one NES Trilogy race last year that wasn't streamed. I think one of the players forgot that the race was going on and then there wasn't a stream for it. But how many hands for Vince? Wow. No hands. I wonder if that would put him in the lead now. I don't know where Abella is, obviously, but let's cheer Vince on as we see him finish this run out. And Abella, wherever he is right now. I'm assuming if Abella got at least like two hands, I don't think he has much of a lead. I don't remember him having like a massive lead, but definitely something. All right, so Abella is back up and running. I don't know. I want to see if we can get him back live again. I think his stream crashed again. It was live for a few minutes, but I think it crashed again. And I feel bad. I haven't been Doing a good job paying attention to Vin's. It looks like he got 3-1 and A2 pretty okay though. Making his way out of 8 Fortress. Looks like something in the mid 27s like last time for Vin's. I don't think there'd be a big deal if you shared how many hands he got. I think he was finishing the Air Force around like the 22-minute mark. I don't remember when Vince finished his Air Force, but middle hand. So I think he still has a lead. But I don't know though. I think it's going to be really close. Let's hope that Bowser's Castle is nicer to Vin's than it was the first race. Right, approaching the statue room. Let's hope it goes well. Ooh, he nails it. Nails it. Nice. 35 fireballs for Bowser. Ooh, that looked like... I don't know if that would have been the impossible pattern, but it looked like it was similar to it at least. But Benz is finishing up here. So we got 27-32 and 27-47. It looks like Vin's won. Finished, he says, a 27-08. So it looks like Abella won the second race. Abella does have a screenshot, so he claims, of a 27-08. So it looks like he is going to take game 2. I'm going to see if he wants to do a game 3. But we are at a 1-1 score right now. Gonna see if the runners want to do a race 3. I know Abella's Wi-Fi might be a little discouraging for him. This is the first matchup of this tournament where we've had a third race. I think Abella wants to take like a minute or two to take a minute, stretch his hands, which is fine. Normally I'd be a little discouraged to do a third race if Abella's gonna have a frozen stream, but I'm gonna leave it up to the runners if they want to do a third race. I don't want to make it my call. It looks like he is live again for the meantime. I'm gonna see if SpeedGaming can help with getting the stream back on. Benz, that is the wrong Mario 2. We're not doing that one. I want to do a third race, so we're gonna do it, but we may or may not have one stream. Finals, we could have like 5 races in this. It is a best of 5 for the grand finals. But best of luck to whoever's going to be in that. It's not on, Vinz. Runners are just about ready. Might be another minute, but we are almost there. All right, let's do a little vote in chat. Who do you think is going to take the third game here? These two have played pretty close together tonight. Really entertaining to watch. About to take off in the race room. I'm going to try to have Abella's stream open just to kind of keep up with his run and kind of tell you guys what's going on. But unfortunately, for the meantime, we're not going to have his stream up on the SpeedGaming stream. Both runners getting through 1-1 really good. Like both runners got through 1-2 pretty good as well. Good start to SMB1. I wonder what we should do for a tournament next year. Don't know if we should do a trilogy tournament or maybe another tournament like quadrilogy or something. Maybe we can make it a vote in the MCMG community server. Yeah, both players entering 4-2 now. Let's hope that they can successfully execute the wrong warp for a third time. Pretty nice 4-2s from both runners. We're entering 8-1, the longest level in SMB1. There's something I haven't talked about yet that I should, and it's the judges. So you see the players bop the Buzzy Beetle, and they want to bop it on a certain pixel. They do that, and then they hit the star block. Then it positions Mario so he gets off the flag a frame earlier, and it actually saves a whole frame roll. If you don't hit the Buzzy Beetle on the correct frame, or the correct pixel rather, it's a 1 frame window to hit the star block on the very first frame. Nothing like too important for a multi-game speedrun, but for standalone speedruns, it's pretty crucial that you get the good judges. Got Vinz making his way through. 8-2. Safe blant there. Oh, those paratroopers kind of threw me off. I'm just watching. But both runners having good SMB1 so far. Try to see who has the lead here. So Abella enters 8-4 at 4:17. Restream's a bit behind. We'll see what Vinz gets. I think Abella has a slight lead right now. Ooh, maybe not. It's probably a frame roll at the most, actually. Never mind. Thinking one frame roll at the most for Abella right now. He did miss the wall jump in 8-4, so Vince can catch up a little bit. Right, he does get the wall jump. Gonna save him some time here. Another thing too is that you'll see the players when they're big Mario, they'll duck underwater and then swim again, and it makes their hitbox shrink. It's kind of like you're duck jumping underwater. You have the smaller hitbox, but the sprite's still the same. They don't have like a big Mario swimming sprite when you're ducking. I think Vince had a decently fast straight 4, so he, I think, has a lead into 2J. Oh, he's actually 1 second behind. Alright, so both runners having good 1-1s to start off 2J. We know Abella had a little bit of a meltdown last time, but he has definitely redeemed himself. When you see the players go for the wall jump setup in 1-2, you actually cannot let go of right. So it can make that jump at the two Goombas at the beginning a little tricky. So both runners are neck and neck, I believe, into 4-1. It's kind of hard to tell because like I have Abella's Twitch tab open. So it's his is significantly further ahead than Vin's, but I'm trying to like keep it synced with my commentary. Letting you all know like what Abella's doing as Vin's is getting to that part too. But I think both players are going for small strats again, what it looks like. Neither of them grabbed power-ups in 4-1. And usually like when you do fire strats in 2J, you'll usually grab the power-ups no later than 4-1. Either you do like mushroom in 1-2 and flower in 4-1, or you'll do both in 4-1. Pretty good indicator that they're doing a small only run if they're small in 4-2. Four two not giving anyone a hard time, thankfully. Right, Vin's going for the safe 4-3 again. Abella did go for the risky 4-3, and it did pay off for him both times. I'll say all 3 times since we have 3 races. But I think Abella might have a little bit of a lead now. I wasn't quite paying attention, but I believe Abella died. Yeah, he died twice in 4-4. So, really dangerous situation to be in right now. Gaming over will not be fun for him. Alright, Abella took the Potaboo safe. And he grabs the axe. He grabbed it at 10:03. I don't know what Vince grabs his at, but I'm guessing Vince has like around a 40-second lead right now. Traditional game over in 5-1, which is smart on Abella's end there. Like what Vince had to do in the previous race. All right, very good super jump setup for Vince. Grabs the flag at 10:15. What Abella grabs it at. $12. So, what did I say? 10:15. So it's about a 1-minute lead for Vince right now. And he gets a really good devil spell there. Yeah, well, Vince can play 8-1 to maintain his lead. All right, Vince has a really good 8-1. Does now. All right, pretty good for the most part. I think he lost a little bit of a time over Vince, but we have Vince entering 8-3. Again, Hammer Bros are pretty favorable in this game versus SMB1. The one thing that's actually easier in this game is one of the worst enemies. Alright, Vince entering 8-4 right now. Maybe a sub 14 split. Vince's lead is entering Mario 3 if he can maintain it through this level. Very nice fast excel for Vin's there. So I did mention earlier about the ace thing. So the record for that, for the ace category, is like a 739 without loads, I think. It takes about 12 seconds off the regular any percent record. But yeah, we do not allow that in trilogy runs. Also, I was not paying attention to when Vin's grabbed the axe, so we're gonna have to just do SMB3 start time. Like 1420. Let's burn that deep within our minds. That 1420 was Vince's SMB3J start time. So I'm guessing, judging off of Abella's 2J split, I'm guessing it's going to be a 1536. So he's got a 1 minute and 16 second deficit right now. Yeah, about 1 minute and 16 seconds. So Vin's really just does, he needs to not mess up World 8. That's all he really has to do. But again, when you're under pressure and you got nerves going, World 8's like very, very challenging. But we're not quite there yet, so we'll see. Looks like he does have a pretty good World 1 going right now. Vince does. And it looks like I can say the same for Abella, too. So auto scroller is pretty boring as usual, but I guess we can do our hand prediction again. How many hands is each player gonna get? I wonder if Vince is gonna... I wonder if he's on the same pace that he was on in his first run. Seems kind of close. Alright, so yeah, the bro can do a few things here at the end of this auto-scroller. If he goes backwards like what he did for Vin's, it is the fastest way you can do it without fire. Or hammer, for that matter. Because when he goes to the right side of the screen and he throws his boomerang, the boomerang goes off screen earlier because it comes back around. It goes off screen earlier and it makes the chest spawn earlier, so it saves time. But if he goes forward, he's further to the left when he shoots the boomerang. Um, the boomerang goes off screen later, so the chest spawns later, so you lose time. But if you have Fire Flower, and I don't know if it's possible with Hammer Suit, but with Fire Flower you can shoot him before he even throws the boomerang if you're lucky. Then that's like the fastest way you can fight him. Vince got the Fire Flower easily. Same thing for Abella, he just got the Fire Flower, so. Alright, let's see what the hands are gonna do for Vince here. Let's hope they're nice to him. Oh my god, dude. Really? Really? Are you kidding me, dude? What's with the no hands? Like twice now. Gonna definitely help him out here versus Abella. He already had over a minute lead, but it could be bigger now if Abella gets average luck. Alright, so Abella just got pulled in by the first hand, the 99% hand. Meanwhile, Vince finishes the Air Force just about, so now he's like guaranteed to have no hands. It is heartbreaking when you get no hands and then you die on the airship, but then you get like all three. Like, why do I do that to myself? Alright, 8-1. This level gave him problems before. Let's hope it doesn't this time around. Oh, just barely missing his jump on the cannon. Oh, yeah, I was about to say, I wonder what he's doing. I was really hoping he wasn't going to forfeit because he does have the lead. Knock on wood, I really shouldn't be saying things because I keep jinxing him. Alright, so it looks like Abella's stream is non-existent. Looks like we're getting it back finally. That's good. Somewhat. Alright, so there we go. Shoutouts to the SpeedGaming admins for getting that back. Big apologies for the inconvenience. We now have both runners again. And hopefully you guys can hear Abella's audio. Looks like his score went away though. Alright, his audio is back now, I can hear it. Alright, Vin's getting his Fire Flower back. Has about a 2-level lead over Abella. Oh, he gets hit too. That's really bad for him. Alright. He's going for the mushroom. This will kill some time, but I think in the long run, it's still gonna save like 20-ish seconds. But Abella having a much cleaner World 8, he is catching up considerably. But this race may or may not come down to the final level. Looking like a high 26 for Vinz if everything goes good. Just don't get hit. Don't get hit. All I ask. Vin's not going for the Ogloop Super Tank strat. Pretty common strat to go for most Mario 3 players. Oh yeah, both players in the same level now. The way Vince does his auto-scroller kind of scares me, honestly. I'm not used to it. Keep getting worried that he's gonna get hit. I'm just like, no. The abellabros is doing the Ogloop Super Tank strat. Alright, Vinz, it's all you. One more level. Alright, gets up the stairs. Alright, 1 up clip second try. Come on, statue room. Alright. Okay, it looks like it's coming down to Bowser. Bowser, please. Ooh, ooh, wow, okay, okay. Stop, this isn't Halloween, dude, stop scaring me. Alright, well, Vin's getting a 26-minute run, very solid time. And he is going to take home the first Group B matchup for Famicom Trilogy. 26-54. Get your GGs out for Vinz. A very strong 3 matches. Alright, Abella not far behind, only about under 40-second difference. So vinzchillin is our winner. Hopefully we're going to get them in for some interviews if they're feeling up to it. All right, and it looks like we have vinzchillin in for the interviews. Whenever he is ready. Abella should be here momentarily too, I'd imagine. But yeah, so the first 3-race matchup for the tournament.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute my Discord. I feel like an old man. How's it going, Mars?
Hey, it's going good. How do you feel about your races tonight?
I definitely had some D-rust going on. I felt like I started that, especially that first race. I think I was like 25 minutes, high 25, maybe mid 25 minutes with loads, and then I think it was 8-1, 8-1 in Mario 3 that affected my pace there, but there's that. And then the second race, I feel like I had some hiccups here and there too. I feel like I did well this for a first game. You know, you mentioned earlier I did participate in the NES trilogy. That was a fun one, and it's after this first game, it just proves to be another much anticipated and exciting tournament. So I'm feeling good right now. Abella put up a good fight for sure. It was almost back and forth. I hate to see it went down to the hands, but you know, everyone knows it's the hands. It will make or break the run, and you just gotta live with it. I just happened to get the good side of it, and I'm just grateful to have done three good races with Abella.
Yeah, like I was saying before a couple times, this is the first 3-race match that we've had all tournament. Very, very exciting, especially like the second race. Like the Mario 3 was pretty entertaining to watch too. You two were really close the whole time at the end of Mario 3 in that race too. But like you said, you also got really lucky with the hands.
Back to back,
Race 2 and 3. Like I've heard of like races where in Mario 3, like there are 5-person races and like everyone gets no hands. Like the funniest thing.
I would have loved to be in that too. That would be so funny.
Yeah, we're waiting on Abella to join the interview. Hopefully he'll be in soon, but looks like your next matchup is against Ape. How do you feel about going into that matchup?
I'm just gonna go in there. Like I'm approaching that like any other matchup. I'm excited to match up against Ape. It's definitely gonna be challenging, a challenge for me because I still yet to wrap my head around Ape's strats, how they would approach the game. But on my side, my goal is to get around like 27, sub 27. I think that's a good run for a category like this. So regardless of the opponent, I feel like setting a goal like that helps set up the mood and to the expectations, the amount of effort that I put in, and just like how this match went, I'll do the same. I'll pretty much do the same. I'll try to do the same in the next matchup.
Yeah, that's a good mentality to go with. Definitely a less stressful mentality to have. I don't know what Ape has for experience. I don't know if they really have anything submitted on speedrun.com. I didn't really check out their profile that much.
True. I did hear that that Ape has I think one of the more modern Mario games. I'm not sure which one, but definitely not their first rodeo in terms of Mario games. As, as you may know, like retro 8-bit version. Oh, it's notorious for its mechanics, its physics and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure Ape's gonna do well, and I'm just excited to go head to head sometime. Hopefully next week or I think the week after would be uh would be the most probable time that's gonna take place.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Yeah, I think Abella's having a hard time getting the DM for the
I just
raid.
informed him it's on the DM, so yeah, he should be
Oh,
joining pretty soon. Um,
yeah,
I
but
know,
what was that?
I wanted to say like Bella, this is first game for a grand stage like this. So I remember when I was in this position last time. The NES trilogy that was my first. That was the first tournament that I had like in a grand stage like this. Thanks to SpeedGaming for restreaming our races so far, and for being pretty much the presenter for for this wonderful tournament that by the multiple classic Mario games speedrunning community. And thank you to you, Mars, for setting this up as well, and for commentating tonight. Uh, of the insights that I love the commentary and the insights that you provided. Bella's here. Hey, Bella.
Yeah, Abella is here, and also just to respond to you real quick, Vinz, it's a pleasure running these tournaments and watching these races live, so thank you for participating, but we do have Abella here. Do you feel that your races went whenever you're ready?
Bro, I'm muted, bro. I forgot to unmute. Yep. What is the question again exactly?
How do you feel about your performance tonight?
I'd say it was like kind of decent. Race one. I fell in a two staircase. Never done before. It went kind of decent. I did game over because, well, as you know, 4-4 sometimes terrible. No fireball can cause you a lot of time because I would only react by a little bit, but if the firebar went low, it will be a whole lot troublesome. Yeah. So yeah. What else? Game two. The weirdest one. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta talk about it for a bit. So Wi-Fi went out. It was like when that happened, I was like, bruh, why now? Why did Wi-Fi turn off now? It's not just
Most
me, like
inconvenient time.
yeah, it's not just me, like the neighbors as well. Their Wi-Fi went out as well, so it ain't just me. What happened was kind of bad luck. I did have some screenshots, thankfully, and my older brother, uh, my older bro, like did a video for me, like when it ran out, so as it can show as some sort of evidence that what I did when the internet went out. So good to know that I still have some backup. But either way, yeah, it's still funny. Like the moment I got a good run, it's Wi-Fi went out, screen went down, and all that. I got one hand though, not bad. Uh, race three was kind of a close call. Uh, What else? I got two hands. Yeah. My SMB one was alright, actually. 2J, I did game over 4-4, and pretty much the rest is quite nice. Unfortunately, I didn't hit fine roll on a race. I was trying to, I was close. Uh, what else? 8-4 is scary. I mean, the first race, I don't know how I died in the piranha. I went so slow there. But yeah, my overall performance, it was alright. Like, I think I had to take it. It was a close call, to be honest. It's not like huge gaps from Vince and I'm like dead last. No, it's like it was a close call. So I would take it. Yeah, that's pretty much the summary of the race. It was a close call. Yes.
This was very entertaining to watch you two go head to head. So you're going to be facing Ape in your next matchup. How are you feeling about that? Mike's not kicking if you're talking, Abella.
Looks like he got his internet wiped again or something. Yeah, maybe his stream stopped. So I'm not sure, Bella, if I think he's having some internet issues right now.
Yeah. All right, well, I might end it off here then. I'm hoping Bella's looking forward to his next matchup against Ape. So, I guess we'll do final comments for now. What are your final comments, Vince?
Definitely, Mario 3 is a work in progress. I feel like that's the game that I believe I spent the least time on, or in terms of the speed projects that I've done, Mario 3 J